That's a lot of people. Okay.
Batch 8, huh? It's already done. First of all, I think I personally wanted to thank you for giving me a chance to be assistant manager. You have no idea how much growth that I take from all this experience. And okay, I wrote it down so I don't want to forget what I want to say. First of all, I wanted to start by saying thank you for all your support in turning my dreams into reality. Growing up on this island, I often heard that the ocean was off limits for girls like me. For years, I let those beliefs shape my world. But then I heard about coral catch. And everything changed. And you knew it. Suddenly, I realized I could break those stereotypes and change how my community view women. Thanks to you. I could become a coral cat superwoman and like what we always talk about and reach for the stars. Scholarship? Oh, you know how chaotic it is. We sort of just floating up or down in the bottom. When I started my scholarship for the first time in my life, I met girls who had the same dreams and goal as I did, who has the same problem as well, floating in the bottom. Together, we form a strong friendship, helping each other as we face the challenges of being the first in our families to follow this path. I noticed little shifts happening all around me. It became normal to see girls helping load the boats with tanks and gear. And after our dives, I would see young girls watching us with a big, curious eyes. I truly hope that when they see me, they think, hey, that could be me one day. Seeing this change, even in just a few girls, fills me with so much hope. It shows that the work we're doing is not just helping Reefs, but also inspiring the new dreams and possibilities. You got this. We got this together. Now that the program has come to an end, I can confidently say it has transformed my life. It's truly transformed my life. I'm more driven than ever to continue this work, not just in marine conservations, but also in the lives of those in my community. Thank you again, Rose, for believing in me, for not saying my dream is too impossible to achieve. I look up for you because you throw everything to make. You got that crazy idea and you make it happen. Thank you. Let's keep changing the world together. Oh, Rose. Thank you.
The name of this awesome girl is Dania, and she's one of the 32 superwomen who are graduated from our award-winning scholarship program. But before I tell you all about Carol Cats, let me share a little bit about my personal journey with you. Oh. So when I was growing up, I had a dream that didn't seem to fit into one box. I wanted to follow all of my passions, build different businesses, become a mother, and be a citizen of the world. But there was not really a word for what I wanted, and there was no role models that could show me how to live this life. Because my parents, they had their own recipe for happiness. Get yourself a university degree, find yourself a steady job, and look for a nice guy. So I followed this path, at least for a while. And then I started traveling and a whole new world opened up to me. For the first time in my life, I met people who had the same passion as me. And when I stepped foot on a tiny island in Indonesia around 10 years ago, it finally felt like coming home. And I never left. I met the love of my life on Gilead, and in 2015, we had the opportunity to buy a bit of a rundown boutique hotel called Villa Nanka. I immediately knew that this was a great opportunity for me to build a business and make a difference at the same time. So together with a friend, we designed a holiday program for people who want to learn more about marine science. And in this program, we teach them how they can assist with collecting data and be citizen scientists, and we called it Gili Shark Conservation. And with the funds of these packages, we hired the first marine biologist, and we started studying the sharks in the Gili Matra Marine Reserve. As our research center started to grow, I was feeling very proud. But to be honest with you, I was also getting slightly nervous. Because could I really lead a team of scientists if I wasn't a scientist myself? And would my love for the ocean and my commitment to conservation be enough to get the respect? If there's one thing that I learned over the last years, is that no one really cares how much you know until they know how much you care. When you lead with genuine care for your passion and your team, the respect will follow. People will be inspired by your passion and your willingness to always go the extra mile. They might even invite you to come to Mexico and share your story on a stage. Thanks, Tom. So this could be the end of my story. I was now a citizen of the world. I built different businesses. I was making an impact. And my beautiful daughter, Charlie, she chose me to be her mom. And for a while, it felt like a happy ending. But then COVID happened and everything changed. Because this business model that I built with my boutique hotel and holiday programs, funding my research and my conservation work, it fell apart. And I was always proud that I never had to ask for any donations or apply for any grants. But now I had to find a new way to keep things going. Just 5 days after my second daughter, Lucy Jane, was born, I got an invitation to apply for a grant from the United Nations for coral restoration work. As you can see, they call it small grant program, but I don't know about you, I think $80,000 is quite a lot of money. Looking at the application, I thought, what chance do I have? We are now 1 year in lockdown. I had no research team, I had no data, I had no resources. And I hadn't been diving for almost 1 year because I was busy growing a little girl in my belly. And to make it even worse, I wasn't even sure if our structures were still there. And then there was another thing, the competition. Because it seemed that the whole world was doing coral restoration these days, and on a much larger scale than us. During the long, sometimes quite lonely nights of breastfeeding, my mind often wandered back to that application. And I thought, what if I would do something that no one had ever done before? And one night, I just had this aha moment, And I woke up my husband and I said, you know what? What about we set up the first complete local female coral restoration team in Indonesia? I already checked. It's never been done before, and I think it's going to be great. He blinked at me and said, I love you. You're insane. That's never going to work. And he went back to sleep. But the next day, when I woke up, I still had butterflies in my belly just thinking about this idea. Because by this time, I've been diving all over Indonesia and I never had a female dive guide. And whenever I visited another project, there were only guys working there. So I started talking with my friends. And they all thought it was crazy too. Where are you going to find these girls? Are they be able to carry the tanks? Their families will never allow them to be away from home. And Rose, do you realize you live in the biggest Muslim country in the world and you cannot go diving with a hijab? The list went on and on and on. But lucky, I'm a stubborn optimist and I did it anyway, with quite good success. So welcome to Coral Catch. This is a place where we turn dreams of working in conservation into reality through empowerment and hands-on experience. Our program is designed for local girls who are eager to make an impact and is built around 5 pillars. The first one is field experience. Most of our superwomen, they are fresh graduates with little dive and field experience. That's why I make sure they spend a lot of time on the water. They do around 55 scientific dives using more than 10 different research methods. We certify them as PADI scientific divers along with several other conservation diver courses. We teach them how to design and build and deploy their own structures, but I think even more importantly, we teach them how to take care of them and monitor them long after deployment. Joining them on their last dive is the best part. The hard work has paid off. They are now giving me a proper dive briefing, and they are arguing who's going to lead the dive. And before we jump off the boat, they tell me, Ibu Rose, don't forget to close the top clip of your BCD, the one that I actually always forget on purpose. It's such a change with that first week. Like Dania was already saying in the video, when some of them were still popping up to the surface. The second pillar is knowledge. As most of us know here, a lot of conservation projects, they don't have much money. And you need to be able to wear them more in one hat. So besides teaching them how to set up and monitor their own coral restoration projects, we teach them a lot more. Digital marketing, community engagement, how to raise funds, how to speak in public, and of course, how to reach for the stars. Coral Catch is proud to have more than 40 ambassadors, amazing women like Jessica, who are sharing their knowledge, their passion, and their experience through online masterclasses. Having this support network is incredibly important for their journey, and it also inspires them to pay it forward, which is the next pillar. I love the pay it forward principle, and I think it plays a very important role in protecting our oceans. From the beginning, I tell our superwoman, you got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so now it's your turn to inspire those around you. And how do they do that? They visit the local schools, and they teach the children how to take care of their island and their ocean. They organize weekly beach cleanups. They share their journey online and offline. But the thing I love the most is that they teach other women how to swim. Because after living in Indonesia for quite some time, I realized that most of my local friends don't know how to swim, which is kind of strange, right? If you realize that most of them live in coastal communities. And also, this is when something really clicked. There was no point of teaching me someone to take care of the ocean if it scares the shit out of them. So now our superwomen are giving weekly swimming classes to the local women of the Gili Islands. And once they feel confident enough, we take them snorkeling and we show them these amazing reefs which have been in their backyard their whole life. But there's more. At Corocats, it's about more than just learning skills or getting more experience. We created a safe space for women where they can learn, connect, and grow together. And from my experience, when women feel that they truly belong somewhere, they are more likely to step forward and stay there. I think everyone in this room knows how powerful a strong support system can be. Someone that you can call when you have a question. A cheerleader in your corner. Someone who's holding your hand when you are scared. It's these things that are making all the difference. Our Corocat Superwomen are surrounded by a very powerful network of ambassadors, partners, sponsors, and of course the other Superwomen, which means they never have to feel alone in their journey. They are backed by a community that believes in them. The last pillar is empowerment, which I think is even the most important one, because by the time they finish the program, they truly feel that they can be leaders. But how do we empower them? It's a hard question, because it's not just one little thing that we do, it's the countless little things that we do throughout the program. And it starts with calling them Superwoman, reminding them day in and day out that they can do this. We give them journals, and we teach them how to set goals and reflect on them. We organize women's circles where they can share their dreams and their fears and ask questions. Talking about emotions is not very common in Indonesia. So it's amazing to see when they are finally opening up. And this is also where you can see the sisterhood between them forming. A great example is something that happened just before I left, and one of the superwomen, she came to me and she said, Ibu Rose, I want to become a scientific dive guide, but then after I become a mother, I need to become a consultant. Can you teach me how to become a consultant? And instead of answering her question, I asked her, why do you think you cannot go diving anymore after you became a mother? She hesitated, but then said to me, because my husband will never allow me to go back to the ocean. Something which made me very emotional to hear, but at the same time it also made me smile. And I said to her, darling, I don't have to teach you how to become a consultant. I just need to teach you how to find a better husband. Sometimes I get this question, why do I only focus on women? And for me the answer is actually pretty simple. I've been living in Indonesia for the last 10 years, and I've seen that women in coastal communities, they don't get a lot of opportunities to become leaders. But I've also seen that when I empower them, it's uplifting a whole community. And also in Indonesia, and maybe in other places in the world as well, it's the women who are staying at home and taking care of the kids. Which means if I invest in their education, I'm inspiring the next generation too. And then last but not least, I think we all know that this field for a long time was dominated by men, especially at the highest rankings. By focusing on women, we can change that, and we can start opening up equal opportunities for everyone. And just to set the record straight, for me it's not about excluding men. It's about raising the voices of women. So how do I measure success? I'm a kind of learning by doing kind of girl. So when I started my coral restoration project in 2019, I looked how others were running theirs. And I saw that often the success was measured by numbers. How many corals did you plant, and how many square meters of reef did you restore? But when I was asking the people in my network how to make these calculations, it was quite surprisingly that I was getting different answers. And then there was another thing that worried me, because what if I applied for a grant application, and then something would happen which was beyond my control, like a bleaching event, or someone dropping an anchor on my nursery? Did I have to pay back all the money? At first I went along with the usual approach, but after training 3 batches of superwomen, it suddenly clicked. My success was not measured by the amount of corals that I planted, but the transforming the life of the girls that you see here on the screen. These women were learning and growing and returning back to their communities as leaders. So where are we now? 32 women have graduated from our scholarship program, and they are all now working in marine conservation or continued their studies in marine science. 4 of them even got a scholarship to study abroad. But it's my mission to empower 100 women in the next 5 years to have this career. So I still have some work to do. But with every batch that is graduating, I'm one step closer to my ultimate dream. Building a strong network of 100 female leaders protecting the coral reefs of Indonesia. Looking back at that young girl who couldn't find anyone with the same dreams like her, she finally found her path. And now I get to watch as other young women step forward into leadership roles and start inspiring the world around them. Change doesn't come from having all the answers. It's coming from a commitment to a vision and the courage to jump. And maybe you know by now that dreaming big is what I love to do. So what's going to be next? In 2025, I want to organize the first Coral Catch conference and share my blueprint how to boost women in marine science and help more women in Southeast Asia to work in this field. I also want to set up Coral Catch Malaysia, because the beauty of this program is that you can easily copy it. The easiest way to scale it is to work together with an existing research or conservation project. And the success, I think, truly depends on just 2 factors: selecting the right superwoman and pairing them with mentors who are genuinely committed in guiding their journey. Because I truly believe when we create spaces for women to lead, we don't just transform conservation, we change whole communities. And we're going to build a future where everyone is part of the solution. Thank you.